Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the trip. I am DWTT, Gary to some. I got some friends with me today. What's up, Tony? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Be better if it wasn't quite so hot outside, but
You live in Oklahoma.
yeah,
That's kind of what you get. You picked the wrong state to live in.
it's weird. It's like north of Texas, but it's a lot of times it's quite a bit warmer than Texas.
Yep, yep. And next we got Lonzo. Lonzo, how you doing?
Hello, Gary. Hello, Tony. What is up? Yeah, so it's going to rain here shortly, which compared to last year, it's been really a good thing. Last year had a drought, so yeah, we're getting heat here as well, Tony. So yeah, I mean it's the summertime, right? So anything below anything that's I guess closer to the equator, it gets hotter. So looking forward to the heat, I guess, and looking forward to talking with you guys tonight.
Cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. And joining us in the back room, he's nodding his head no. I assume that means he's not ready to come on. Or is he ready to come on? You're gonna nod your head yes when you're ready to come on? Okay, he will nod his head when he's ready. So you guys, you can't see it, but I can see it. He doesn't look like he's ready. But we'll bring Spencer on. I don't know why he has that thing on his thing, but I never know if he's sitting there or yeah, he's. Why don't you show your face? Why do you do this to me?
I was just doing my greatest Uncle Howdy impression.
Yeah.
That's it.
How you doing,
Hello,
Spencer?
everybody. I'm good. Happy Monday.
Cool, 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 cool. Yeah. You know what? You don't want to come on, but you're gonna do that crap, dude. You know what? Hello, welcome to the show, Mr. Tom. I don't care if you don't want to be on.
QR code. QR code.
Why do you keep putting that crap up? Steven joins us. Welcome to the show.
Tony made that crap. I should have you know.
Yes.
I think I did a fine job at setting that up.
And some guy called DWTT says hello, hello.
It's not bad if you click, like you scan it and go through it.
I did
What is
scan
it?
it.
Where does it take you?
Pornography.
Nudes of Tony.
Oh, you know what? Damn. No. Sorry. Whew.
That's not where it takes
you.
you.
Know what? You know what? Yeah.
Just kidding.
Sorry.
Nah, to be honest, I think Spencer deserves a 13-second sin bin for that.
It takes you to the full Nelson YouTube and Twitter page.
You know what, dude? Come on. Sorry, Tony. But,
cheers, Tom.
Yeah. Jordan Hyman, welcome to the show. Got BX from the Boogie Down is here with us as well. All right, people. I pushed this show.
I'm just glad somebody else got in the sin bin besides me.
You're gonna get in the sin bin too, dude. You know why you're gonna get in the sin bin?
Can't stop interrupting.
Yeah, you keep doing stuff that you know we don't appreciate.
At first, you get on to me for not talking enough.
Here we go.
Dude, no. I get on for you for not talking when we ask you to talk. When we don't ask you to talk, that's when you got something to say. Big difference. Try again, sir.
No one in the history of YouTube has ever turned around and gone, you know what? Tony didn't speak enough for my liking tonight. That has never been said. You're lying or you're delusional or both.
Yeah. Anyways. All right.
What's on the cards, Gary?
Fuck you. That's what's on the cards.
I know exactly. You know what? Mr. Tom will be the devil on my left shoulder. All right, for the rest of the show. All right, he's on my right on the screen, but he's actually the devil on my left shoulder.
Gary,
all right,
I am your conscience.
Do it. You know what, Tony? I got something I want to say to you. There you go. I pushed out a video I don't know if you guys want to chat about it, but I went through kind of my predictions going into the season, and then actually what happened. All right, you guys want to chat about it a little bit?
Sure, Gary.
I just kinda
As a
wanna stare at
three-time
Tony
champion
next
of
hour.
as a three-time champion of Arsenal Fan Circle's
Hey,
season
Tony.
predictions for
Hey,
Arsenal.
Tony.
Yeah.
Tony. Devil on the left shoulder. Tony.
That's quite funny, Tony, that you mentioned being the champion 3 times, because you usually only ever talk about the time you didn't win.
I never lost that competition, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We're moving on
Jesus
anyway.
Christ.
So let's put it up. I don't know the best way to do this. Is this a good view? Let's see.
You're lying.
Make sure you don't click on your porn.
There's none of that. But here is kind of like a rundown of Arteta's years at Arsenal. And as you can see, as everybody says, he started off eighth, and then fifth, and then he's actually done 2 seconds. But you can see my predictions there in gray. My thinking for all this, we're competing on 4 fronts. The only way we're going to be able to compete on 4 fronts is if we're successful on all fronts. And going into the year, I thought this is the best we could do. If we competed on all 4 fronts based on the depth that we had. As you can see in 23-24, we actually finished second, which was an overachievement for me, and we made it to the quarters of the Champions League. Definitely an overachievement, but those early round exits in the domestic cups, not so good. Kind of a wash if you look at it, but still, we need to be better than that.
3 times we broke the record of earliest exit out of all the domestic cups.
Hey, Tony, can we just talk about last season?
We are. I'm grouping it together.
You said 3 times we've been out of the domestic cups, and that's really hard to do when there's only 2 of them in a season.
We've been out of three times in a row, Gary.
We're not talking about 3 times in a row. We're talking about last season.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a wash when you've done it 3 times. You have to use history a little bit here, Gary.
It's all about the season ending.
So if you were a
I don't want to
coach,
go
Gary,
back. I go back 100 years, and then it's not a wash. We've done really good. Let's not go back in time. Let's stick to last season.
Gary, you do realize teams watch footage of the last game, so
I'm not even sure what that means.
What?
that means history matters.
All right, so that's my prediction going into the season. I would have been happy with those 4 results. Yes, none of them involve a trophy, but as you can see in the asterisk there, a trophy nullifies one of the what the world is that go? That's not my alter ego putting that out there. So stop it. All right.
That's the devil on your.
Anyways, let's go to Lonzo. What do you think about my predictions and how we actually played out?
Well, I mean, again, second. I think Gary. I'm assuming you based the third on because we played a lot of domestic game competitions and Champions League football. So I can understand that. We kind of we would have gotten tired regardless of playing as many games as we did going forward in this season. However, we didn't get as much. We didn't get close to those predictions. I think, granted, Champions League was our first year we've been back in a long time. Bayern Munich were a tough opponent, but we could have won. That's what kind of hurts a little bit. I think the FA Cup we played Liverpool, so they were a tough competition as well. So, all in all considered, we weren't very far off, Gary. I think the placement with finishing third and distribution to second could have been because we probably would have been we probably would have gotten farther in those competitions. Hence the depth. We didn't have a lot of it this year. hopefully Arteta would plan better and get those signings we need to make our bench better so we could depend on them more often than not. This year, he didn't use the bench as much as he should have. Maybe that was due to injury or not our bench not being um, constant playing time. So yeah, it was a fair prediction on your part, Gary. And coming second twice isn't that bad considering City are just a powerhouse at the moment.
Cool. Spencer, what are your thoughts on my predictions and how they played out? How the season actually played out?
They were wrong. No, I mean third place. I had them finishing first. I mean, so the third. I mean, the problem is the cups, right? Like, I like where you're going with the semis, but the problem with cups is who you draw in those rounds too, right? So like, the Champions League, we outdid that, which is good. I mean, that was probably the biggest litmus test more than the domestic cups, if you want to be honest, because of where we're trying to go with this team. But yeah, I mean, we shot. I mean, what was your prediction for 22? Do you have that?
I do have that.
What
for
was your
22?
litmus
No.
test to go
For
from
22,
second?
I don't have that because I just thought of it last year. So
I got you. I mean, yeah, I mean the FA Cup's got to be better. I mean, I can live with the League Cup, whatever, but that FA Cup, we've got to do a longer run than. I mean, look at that round of 16 was 20, 21, 22, but again, it's all about who you draw in these games, and we should have put Liverpool away, but we didn't. So,
true.
and given their running afterwards, we probably would have made it to the semis easily.
Oh, no, for sure. Let's say hi to Stefan. He joins us.
You didn't make it to the round of 32 in the FA Cup.
I think that we played. That was the first game. I thought it was a round of 32. No,
third round is round of 32.
64 teams left.
In the round 3.
Yeah.
So I have that wrong. When we finished, that was a round of 64.
Yeah.
Wow, even worse. Okay. Well, I was giving them, so it's even worse than I thought.
Apologies if it turns out I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
You know what? The reason why I
32,
think it's round of 32 is because
16,
I actually went into
6 is 8.
I went into SofaScore and I looked at the number of teams. So I believe I got that right. I believe I got that right. But you could be right. If you're right, then it's even worse. It's even worse. He says hello. The one thing, Spencer, that I'll say is when we played tougher teams, for example, if you recall when we won the FA Cup, this is what a team that Arteta did not pick. In 1 week, I think he played Liverpool and City in that week, and one of them was to make it I think it was the semis, I think it was, in that week. He won both of those games, and then he had to play Chelsea in the finals. So I like to think that with his own team, it shouldn't matter who we play because it's his team. Whereas when he played against, I think it was City, I believe it was, or Liverpool, I can't remember which one, but he played one of those teams and then he played Chelsea, and that was without his own team. So I like to think that he has a better grasp of how things are going to play out when he's got his own team. So that's kind of where I'm going with that one. But Mr. Tom, you got any thoughts on kind of my predictions and actually how the season did play out?
Nah, not really. I did watch a video.
You did watch it? Cool.
Watch the video, but don't ask me to quote any of it because I've slept since then. But I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's one of these things where I said it about a month ago because when the season hadn't shaped that into the finale, let's say, I feel that the people that have the anti-Arteta agenda will have had enough things happen that it will fuel their belief. And the people that are pro-Arsenal, pro-Arteta, whatever, however you slice it, will also have enough to fuel that belief. So basically, it was basically a perfect the way it played out was perfect for Arsenal YouTube because everyone has enough to do their grift.
I hear you. All right.
It's not weighted on one particular side for the people that believe a side.
Yeah. Steven has a comment here. I think when you made your predictions, you overestimated our bench strength, and Arteta actually learning game management, which he did not. If you think about it, we overachieved in 2 aspects of the season and failed in 2. If we had competed on all 4 fronts, that's where that comes into play, right? If we get knocked out of the Champions League, after the first knockout round, maybe we play better, in any of the cups. For me, if we're not challenging for second and we're like holding on to third and fourth throughout the season, maybe we have a little bit left to go into those domestic cups as well. So that's kind of how I see that played out, and that is because of our depth. I think that's where we would have got knocked out early in the Champions League because I figured that would be a more tougher challenge for us. But it seems that West Ham and basically a young team of Liverpool players are bigger than Porto, essentially. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how the season played out. But yeah, no, I see that. Moss has joined us. He's walking El Mario before game 2. I assume that's his dog.
Mm-hmm.
El Mario. All right. Cool.
Just his dog.
Cool. And what else does he say? We got lucky against Porto in Champions League. We got lucky many times. We got lucky many times last season. So I think that's go ahead, Mr. Tom.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
For sure. Like City got lucky against Nottingham Forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Nottingham Forest could hit a shot on target, different things could have played out. So yeah, I think we all get lucky. We create our own luck, but then sometimes we get lucky nonetheless, right? So I kind of feel like that goes both ways. Yeah.
I was very disappointed in Kai Havertz though this season.
Yeah. Kai Havertz, yeah.
I didn't get the reaction I was looking for.
Yeah.
Mr. Waka Waka.
Yeah. And what else he says? Doug. I don't know who Doug Lewis is. Anybody know? I don't know who Doug Lewis is, but Susco rumors continue.
No idea. Who the fuck is Doug Lewis?
And Tony brings up 32 pairings. I don't know.
The FA Cup.
So that means 64, Tony. That means Spencer's right.
Tom said it first. I want to go verify it.
No. I must have counted the 32 games, and that's it because I thought I counted the teams.
Well, 32 games would be 2 opponents would be 64.
No, I just
That's
counted
exactly
the games, is what I mean. I didn't count the teams.
I mean, don't get me.
All good.
He
Sorry,
didn't complete the
sorry.
math. He started the math. He
Really
got to
doesn't-
step
Hey,
1.
Tony, learn a lesson here. Gary was wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong, Tony. That can happen.
Right.
Gary was wrong,
Yeah.
and then he turned around and went, "You know what? It's possible that I'm wrong." And then when he was found out that he was wrong, he went, "You know what? I was wrong."
Yeah.
And
we
you know,
moved on.
Gary will wake up tomorrow morning, and everything could be fine.
Yeah.
But YouTube always remembers. There's that, but no more.
Gary's to blame the math.
Yeah. So here we go. So I've corrected it now. So let's see. How do I do this? I got to view. I got to remove the do a full screen.
Didn't
here.
you
There you
also lose in the round of 32 in 2023?
go. Probably then.
I mean,
Probably.
round of 64.
I probably have. So I probably have that wrong too.
That'd be Forest.
What year did you lose to Forest?
20, whatever year the Amazon was. So that would be 22.
Yeah, that's this year here.
Okay.
You sure about it? The year before that?
No, because we didn't lose to Forest in a later round.
We lost to Forest the year that we
It was in December, the same time as we lost this time. Remember, that was in December.
The FA Cup games for the Premier League is in January.
That was a hiccup.
I'm
We
pretty
lost
sure.
we lost this FA Cup in December.
No, it was 2021 because I'm pretty sure Arsenal lost to Forest on the same day that Leeds lost to Crawley.
And they wore that horrific
white jersey.
Yeah.
It was Forest.
So that was the year we bottled top 4.
Sorry, Gary, I really didn't mean to dismantle.
It's fine. I thought I got this right. I spent a little time, and like I said, there isn't one place where I can go and look at all the teams, so I kind of had to scroll, So yeah, I must have done. I did it wrong. Tony, I made a mistake.
Where's the Charity Shield trophies at?
We don't count those, dude. We don't count those.
It's a
Let's
friendly, dude.
sacrifice Gary to our gods.
Hold on here. So when Man United beat Man City in the opening game of the year,
they're gonna count it. Yes, they're gonna count it.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure that
they're gonna count it. But
the grifters are gonna use it to say, "Well, look, Ten Hag's got more trophies than our."
Yeah. You know what? I don't know Doug Luiz. I know Douglas Luiz. Okay. All right.
Oh, sweet.
All right. I don't know Antonio from Oklahoma. All right.
Oh.
So hold on here. If the Charity Shield means nothing,
I didn't say it means nothing. I said I didn't count it.
I'm living a thought here, Gary. If the Charity Shield means nothing is based on your previous year's results, then your position in the Champions League means nothing because it's on previous year's results.
When it's Arsenal, you know how that works. Let's just prefix it. When it's Arsenal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to do math.
No, that's how it works. Next year, like you said, if United wins a plate, guess what? They would have won the first trophy of the season.
Well, in the first year they won the Community Shield, they'd won the FA Cup, and the City had won the league. So the second one could. I don't know. If it's based off achievements from the previous year, it wasn't like they flipped a coin and said, "Hey, you're going to be in this game."
True.
Go out there, Soccer Aid, and whatever. I'm just having fun.
I hear you on this one, but when it comes to the trophies the trophies that matter are the ones based on ones that we play for in the season and not at the beginning of the next one. All right.
I'm not advocating for saying the Charity Shield is this big trophy. No. I'm not. I'm just saying if you can make it in Champions League based on previous year's results.
Yeah.
Then
it for me the it's not part of the trophy count, and it's not something for me that nullifies us not succeeding in any of the runs.
I agree with that.
So yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So, I can't say I won a Charity Shield. Thus, with the fact that I didn't win anything in any of the other cups, it was a good season. I think, for me, I think we're done. We're past that part, right?
It's very nuanced. I feel like I would count the one that you were in because you won the FA Cup, but I'd be very reticent to have a bus top parade off of the fact that you're in it by virtue of finishing second when the other team won 2 trophies.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't throw about.
So my premise here about saying potentially, hey, your results from the previous season, that argument holds a little. It's not you weren't just you can argue last year, sure, finishing second, you didn't really deserve to be there, but Man City can't do a game against themselves.
And you know what, you guys, the trophy count is based on these fronts that we compete on. That's all it's based on.
Who determines that, though? Who determines
what?
That what counts as a true trophy?
No, I'm saying what counts in my prediction. All right.
Well,
it has nothing to do with whether it's an honor or
Spencer
whatever.
Tom has spoken.
I think it comes. I'm just having a silly season discussion here. Who's the authoritative figure that says these 4 trophies don't matter? Who's to say that the Audi trophy doesn't matter? I mean, I don't know.
You know what? See, when you go there, then that's when you lost everyone.
Oh, I love this.
And everything you said before that is stricken from the records because.
No, he's right. I love this kind of thing.
No, I don't like the nonsense.
I love this nonsense. It's so nonsense.
There's nothing. We are not quantifying something that team won and saying it's actually part of a trophy count. All right,
Well,
we're
just
not
like
doing
This
this.
is
who
such
makes
a
the rules?
waste of time, but I'm loving it.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I just like who makes the rules here.
Next, we'll be counting the Emirates Cups that we
there
used
you
to
go.
have.
See, yeah, that's the
How many
nonsense.
Emirates Cups did you win?
No. We don't count that
Probably
one.
about
See, that's
half
why
of
we
them.
don't count Emirates
You
Cups.
need
all
to
right?
win 99% of them, considering you're in all of them.
That's,
I think we're like 50-50 in them, Tom.
50-50 over here.
Yeah. Anybody have
And
anything else to say on this before we move on? But like I said, that was
Yeah,
my.
I haven't had any
Have it
say
chilled.
yet, but
What did you say? What was that, Tony?
I said I haven't had any say on this yet.
All right, everybody.
It's true, he hasn't.
Tony, tell us.
We'll go with the Premier League. I thought if we just focused on the Premier League, we could get in the top four. I thought if we try to go for multiple competitions, that we want to finish in the top four. As far as the domestic cups, I think you have to go out there, play your friends' players, play your young players. They got to get experience somehow, especially around the main team, training with the main team. Then you just go out there and play in the cups. Because that's where Martinelli developed. He went out there and got 10 goals in Europa. So, started his career off. So, you got to see these players, got to know what they have against better competition. Instead, we play with this very thin team. You probably pay 16 players. You got 25 players. So, you make use of your players.
Yep. No.
And another thing to show that we don't have depth is the fact that probably 75% of our substitutions were defensive substitutions.
Yeah.
Okay, because we weren't bringing in somebody to come get a late goal. I mean,
Yeah. So, but tell me about the predictions and how they actually played out.
like I said, I thought if we would focus on the league, which he pretty much did, but he put the big players in the cup games, at least for a half. I think Champions League, we should have made it through there, but we had to go with a goofy thing. We play a back three. You have Tamiyasu as your midfielder. I have video proof of it. Spencer's seen it.
and you didn't listen to the commentators either.
I heard the commentators.
Well,
No,
then
you only heard the part that was relevant to what you said.
But Spencer, I also preferenced it saying, well, what did I say? I said that Tamiyasu was in the midfield the whole game.
He
There
inverted
was
Tony.
nobody at left back. Nobody was at left back.
Who's the right? Who's the right?
Hold on.
Who's the right wing back, Tony?
Alonzo, I got this. So the 25th
No,
second.
I asked him a question.
He said the commentators literally said Tamiyasu is playing in the position that Zinchenko plays. He was inverting.
Yes, I knew.
That's exactly what it says.
Tony, who was right back? Who was your right wing back? Ben White's a fullback, Tony. So
it wasn't a fullback when you play a back three. You have wing backs.
Yeah. Again, who's the right wing back?
I don't know. I'd have to go back to the game because it was Gabriel. Or it might have been what?
Sorry, Tony, but Ben White was playing fullback.
No, he was not.
Anyway,
Water's wet. The sun grows the next morning, and Gary, go ahead and take control again, please.
All right, so that you want to go and see what I had for? I do have a video coming out for the next season's prediction, early predictions, anyways, based on what I feel now. You want to see it?
Sure, let's do it.
Yes.
Nah.
Let's do it before we signed any players.
Yeah.
Well, we should do it before we start talking about back threes versus back fours versus
Yeah.
back fives.
So this is my early, like I said, my early prediction, and this is for me competing on all four fronts once again. As you can see, we should end up with a trophy. I don't even know why I didn't put a trophy count in there, but
pick
we should.
Pick first, Gary. You can't sit on the fence post, so that's second/first.
Well, that's like I said. This is an early season, right? This is me not knowing anything about what we're going to bring to the table. Like if for example, we did nothing, all right, we probably could still finish first or second. We know exactly what's going to happen, all right? We're going to run out of depth. Our starters are going to drop in form, and we're not going to get everything we want. We're going to start off weak and slow, or we're going to finish off weak and slow. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to make a naive decision. I'm going to put it all out there and make a decision before the postseason tournament has even started.
what the world? What is that? What is that? What?
I'm your conscience.
You did ask him earlier.
You created this monster.
I did create the monster, but I don't know what he's saying.
What he's saying is that this is way too early to be way too early.
That.
You know how the NFL does like way too early mock draft? After
Yes, this is my way too early
No.
prediction, man. Yeah.
Tom, that was his best Darth Vader impression.
Oh, hang on.
Like I said, this is way too early, and this is based on what I hope we do in the marketplace when we go and get some players. Plus, if we get lucky with health, right? If Timber comes back, nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So we still need an answer in midfield. We need an answer up top.
And we need another left back, apparently.
It sounds like we need another left back. Yeah. Yep.
It sounds like you need to find the rebel flags.
Okay, that is not that double on my shoulder. But okay, Spencer, tell me my way too early prediction for next season. Tell me.
It's way too early. I mean, I like the endeavorous. I like the push out. The dreaming. But I mean, we don't even know who the hell we're signing, and we don't even know who's leaving. We don't know anything.
Why it's way too early. Yes.
We didn't know Spencer was a weatherman from Family Guy. It's wet.
It's gonna rain. So this is the only thing I would say. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. They way too early. I'm not knocking it. I do read the NFL mock drafts way too early. I do read them. So to sit here and say that this doesn't have a little bit of interest to me would be lying. But it's a little too early.
What's the worst one, Spencer, for way too early NCAA football?
Dude, we're not talking. Let's talk about my predictions. You haven't even talked about this one. You already want to go talk about a sport
it's not
nobody
my
else
turn
knows
yet.
about
It's Spencer's
on here.
turn.
He wants to talk about Oklahoma Sooners.
Yeah, he's not talking about Oklahoma Sooners because they suck at basketball.
Yeah. This is obviously what Gary feels deep down is going to happen. But it's also relevant to point out that is based on basically stuff that he doesn't actually know is going to happen because you don't know who you're going to buy.
And the other thing to piggyback on that, you're free to make changes at any time. So nobody's going to be like, hey, Gary, you said we're going to make the semis of the Champions League, not going to get rocked out in the group stages.
Very true.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just throwing that out there, by the way.
You know what? And that's based on trend, right? It's my trending thought there that we will improve on certain things. And if we get the depth we need, we will be able to make it, through the early stages and maybe even later ones. So the trend I'm taking trends into this as well. I think if we have more depth, making it past the 60, the round of 64 should be much more achievable.
So Gary, how are we getting more depth? That's
You kind of have to bring players in, Tony.
You have to buy them.
yeah, but you also have about 6 to 8 players that you're selling or getting rid of, or
That's
Yeah,
not,
that's kind of how that works. Yeah, yeah.
so but you still need more players in that though, because we got a deficit now. So if you sell 5 players and get 5 players, your depth's not improved.
It is
You,
improved. You know
you,
why? You know why it's
no?
improved? Do we play in Kedia? Do we play in Millswift Row? Do we
It's
play on Nelson?
Arteta. He'll find some fucking shit
No.
ass
But
pet.
you don't want to answer that
Gary's
question because
kind of
you know what when he brings in his own players, he usually plays them at least for a bit. All right, we've seen it. We've seen it. He will force
I
his
can tell you
players
the
in that he
other way
brings
this
in.
ago.
What's that?
Eh,
I can tell you the other way this ago.
What's
If
that?
Arsenal did end up losing the first 5 games, and then Gary starts going, always knew we were gonna be shit this year. Right, I would then turn around and go, you are a liar and a traitor.
Hey, you know what? Stefan? You know what? I probably would do that. I would do that. You know what? I would do that. Yeah. You know what? I'm saying if you got these players and you're gonna sign them up, you should play them. He's not playing them.
You're supposed to
That's
force your
bad.
players.
Tony
Force.
Turner talks a lot of sense. You know what? That right there is comedy gold. It's comedy gold,
truth.
Tony.
It's the truth.
What is sense? Tell me, what is sense?
Stefan's in a trolling mood. He's in the mood to troll. He's in the mood for chaos. In a minute, if Ryan was on this show, he would be Ryan. Give us a rant, Ryan. Give us a rant.
Yeah,
And I'm pretty sure he doesn't sound like that, but in this recollection, he does.
Yeah. No,
just wait for Colonel Ward to pop up in the
There
chat.
you go.
That's how
You're right. If that's his players, he should be able to easily get them into the lineup, but he chooses not to, and that's on Arteta. So
Who's Arteta? I've never heard you say this name before.
Arteta, yeah, that's our manager.
You usually have Arteta.
You know what's funny? I don't know who Ughh is, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
but anyways, like I said, definitely way too early. But I needed to put it out there because and my video comes out and you can listen to that. But like I said, if we were to, for example, not win a trophy, but we finish in the lower end of my prediction, I would think we're on the cusp of something. Yeah.
The one I have the biggest problem with, Gary, this might surprise you, is the Premier League.
Yes, sir.
Because you had teams that really disappointed this year. You had Newcastle that was terrible. Chelsea that was terrible.
Yep.
Then they finally found their form.
Yep.
And you're not going to have this many bad teams.
We say this every damn year. We said it last year. We said it the year before. The exact same thing you just said, Tony. I can take it, record it, and go back and listen to the beginning of the previous season. And guess what? It would have been the same comment. Every year, somebody doesn't. I expected Liverpool to run like they did at the end of the season and finish strong this season. What do? Nada. Right? Newcastle, it's surprised they get in. Can they handle it? Nope. Villa, will they be able to handle Champions League? We'll see.
I wonder what I'm going to serve with Tony after I've finished cooking him.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, Gary, you're 100% right. Every year we hear the same thing. Well, United's going to get better. Liverpool's going to get better. Chelsea's going to get better. Every year, it's the same.
And you know what I see every time I look? Arsenal keeps trending upwards. Arteta has to continue to make that happen. Right? If he's got a plan, if he starts to dip, guess what? He'll what is it? You break the apple cart and everything falls, all the apples fall out or whatever. But he has to continue to get better every season.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think that means the wheel came off the spoke.
Something like that. Yeah.
Stefan
said he's got to go for about 30 minutes. We should be here when you come back. Yeah, apparently Tony is facing
His
119
name's the
charges
Arsenal
from the
Misfit,
Premier League for
not
coming
Stefan.
out with his comments. Oh man, yeah.
I mean, it's the same
Tony,
song and
how do
dance
you
every
answer
year.
the charges? Sorry.
Gary,
Yes, sir.
Sue has diphtheria. It's like what Oregon Trail. You're always losing a kid or two.
And
I
oxen.
think you mean dysentery.
Same thing.
They had a couple of different diseases on there.
Okay.
Yeah. I missed
first video game.
Yeah.
For
All
anyone
right.
who-
Anything else, Tony? Before we take away my way early prediction.
Like I said, I think I just don't see us finishing that high in the Premier League.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but if we haven't learned from the previous season and the previous season, then that's when you know what, the plan ain't working, and that's when you have to think about whether or not he's going to be able to do it for you. All right, that's kind of how I see it. But like I said, if he's able to compete on four fronts, that would be. When's the last time Arsenal has competed on all four fronts?
I don't know, probably 2011.
Yeah, very long time, almost 15 years ago, right? So I kind of feel like, you know what? That's what we need to do, I believe, if we're going to win the big trophies. And it shows depth if you can go deep in the domestic cups, because that means the players coming off the bench can actually do a job for you. So, all right, we're going to hide this thing. I think you guys.
I just don't like how we haven't done any business before Euros.
Has anybody really
Yeah, I
done any
mean, there's
business
not
yet?
been one big
Well,
signing that you can think of. I
Window's
believe.
not even open.
The last time they did the Euros, after the Euros, they had good success with Ramsdale and Ben White. So things could happen still after the Euros. It doesn't have to mean it's not life or death if you don't sign
Yeah, that's
someone
the
by
other part
the
to this.
Euros.
The window doesn't even open for another 4 days, and then guess what happens a couple
The
days after
Euros.
that? So I doubt anything's going to happen unless it's like an Nkuku deal where everybody knows he's signed, right? Because that's how that played out, right? That we knew in January he was signing or whatever it was. So unless that happens, I don't see it going on. Or
I
was
say
it?
this every year. It's important to note that the transfer window is just a sexy name that's made up by the media for the purposes of creating jeopardy and interest. It's technically a registration window. You can technically sign anyone at any time. Doesn't mean they can play for you because you only have 2 windows of one in January of 30 days or 31 days, whatever, and then one in the summer of about, 70, no, whatever it is from 15th to 1st of September. Whatever it is.
Tom, what was the cutoff date when you didn't have the transfer windows when it was free agency?
There was basically you could buy a player all year round until it was something. Off the top of my head, it would have been like 17th of March, but it would have been between mid and late March. There'd be what was called deadline day, but where basically it functioned generally where teams in the bottom half could try and buy their way out of trouble late into the season.
Instead of signing a new manager, they're like, "Oh, let's go get some players."
Yeah, basically, West Ham were quite notorious for it. They survived many a season based off of buying a striker on that day in March. Oh God, Uncle Howdy, God, leave me alone.
It seems like it'd be hard to get players to commit that late, though.
Sometimes the players won't be playing. Well, like the best example of this, Stefan, off the top of my head, this will sound really silly, is I remember when Chelsea decided they just no longer wanted Diego Costa around the place. So they basically told him, you can go to Madrid on January, in September. They basically realised that Diego Costa's a terrible influence around the club. So they basically told him, go fuck off to Madrid until 1st of January when you can actually sign for them. So the deal was done. The deal was done like 4 months in advance or whatever it was. But he couldn't play. But he could train. Or whatever the rules are on it. But yeah, so it's just a sexy media word. Like, or let's create fun and jeopardy or whatever. While teams bankrupt themselves.
I can't remember the training rules.
Wasn't Diego talking about Diego Costa, Tom? Wasn't he the one that was around when Laurent Koscielny had his Achilles tendon burst in that game?
He played for them twice, Chelsea. Remember right?
No, Atletico Madrid. Wasn't whenever he was with them, and he was around when Laurent Koscielny messed up his ankle or his Achilles tendon. Was it that game?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Okay.
The only thing I really know about him is that he manages to look like a 48-year-old truck driver while being 25.
It's a player I wish we had because I liked his grit as a
I hated
striker.
him.
He too always played great against us. He's always up for that game. That's why you hate him.
The funny thing about it is, like, during the FA Cup final in 2017, it was, I believe it was Rob Holding and Mertesacker and Nacho Monreal that played a back three, Tony. I remember, like, we were very, very underdogs that game, and it wound up being that Mertesacker came back from injury, and he wound up having the game of his life because he had two good center backs, so Rob Holding and Monreal, who helped defend as a third center back. That was one of the times that I thought that the back three really helped Arsenal out as far as contending for a trophy. It was against that Chelsea team, and that Chelsea team was pretty good. They won the league that year. And anyway, that's what I remember about Diego Costa. I believe he was gonna have 2 goals, 3 goals, but then we shut him down. I think he had that one goal that was kind of unlucky. That bounced off of I believe it was Holding. But anyway, they all three had a good game against the Chelsea team that was really good.
Your memory of these Arsenal games is quite outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be wrong or lying. I'm not going to check, so I have no idea. But the things you're naming are quite very specific.
Well, I remember that game because we were eating barbecue by Austin, Texas, and we drove there like at 5 o'clock in the morning to go check this barbecue out. It ended up being like a 4-hour long line, and we saw it at a hole in the wall bar, and it was on TV, so it was awesome. Anyway.
I'm surprised it didn't involve a pool party.
Nice time.
I think the QR code made Gary leave. Gary's like, nope, no QR codes.
No, you know what happened? I did some. I tried to open up a window, and then
wrong button.
The screen went black, so I couldn't see any of you for like the last 5 minutes. So I don't know.
Some may say that was a blessing in disguise. Are you there, Stefan? No, because there's something I've got to show you. And no, that is PG. It's PG. Promise you. They know what it's going to be, but obviously, the wrestling's in Scotland on Saturday, and they released a special shirt to commemorate the fact.
Oh no!
As WWE say, Glasgow, because Americans can't say Glasgow.
Glasgow.
It's blue.
Stefan?
Yeah.
You can buy it now for the extortionate price of £7,000.
Gary, Even after I explained to Gary before the
I
show,
already know this one,
he
Tony.
doesn't know of a class of castle
Tony,
is.
actually, I don't care. That's probably let's just
Don't
let's
care.
you know what? Let's just go. Let's go with my first thought. I don't care.
Just say you don't give a fuck, Gary. Come on.
That's genuine merchandise.
Yeah, yeah. Stefan is not impressed, and guess
I
what
knew
he
he
said
wouldn't
they
be.
can do? So they can just go
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
So not impressed, not happy with
I
that
added
selection.
that to StreamYard at the start of
that's awesome.
the road trip on Saturday because I saw it while Gary was playing the intro, and I was like, I know who this is going to troll. And I went there.
According to WWE, though, it's blue. So I don't know.
Yes. Yes. They do not acknowledge Celtic.
So and they don't acknowledge the place where they're going now.
Well,
It's funny because I had two friends, one from Rangers and one from Celtic, and we were gonna hang out and watch Celtic, Scotland versus Germany, and it was a good time.
I believe it's literally just because Drew McIntyre supports Rangers.
Mhm.
So he's convinced them, I've got to be in blue. Like, we'd
So-
all do it. We would all do that. If it was in Leeds, I'd be like, no, you got to have it like as the Leeds shirt. And yous would be the same. Like, yous ain't going to have it in all white for
Yeah,
Tottenham,
but
are you?
but
You-
this is.
you'd
But
want
you're
them
saying
green
this is the opposite of that. This is like
No.
saying you're going to Leeds and you're going to make it a red shirt. That's what I believe we're saying, isn't it?
No, not at all, because there's two teams. Obviously, Leeds is a bad example because Leeds is a one-club city.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be nearly as controversial. But it's say like you were doing it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but then they're like, oh, but you'd want the shirt to be red still.
Yeah, because there's the
'Cause you
proper
support
shirt
Arsenal.
for London, isn't it?
What do you mean?
It's the right shirt for London, isn't it?
Hang on, let me check. Let me check my.
London's
Yeah, I've got
red,
a live
yeah?
picture. I've got a live picture of North London.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
There you go. Confirmed.
It's
Confirmed.
red.
Yep.
So Tom, can you support more than two teams in Scotland? You only got two choices.
I personally don't believe you could support more than one team in anything, but that's obviously that is.
Well, I misspoke, but besides those two teams, is there any team?
Nah.
You're
They
either
are
Celtic or Rangers, right?
Yeah. No, I actually that's a very interesting point. I did see someone once say they support both Celtic and Rangers, to which I was like, so really you don't support either. It's the footballing equivalent of I hope both sets of players have a nice time.
I'm going to support Barcelona and Real Madrid.
Yeah. No. You can't do that. You only get one.
No.
You only get one, and you only get one. Guess what? I don't get the I support this team in this country, this team in that country, this team in that country, and that team over there. You know, there's too many teams. You can't give that much love to so many teams. It's not possible.
You know who did split off part of his psyche into multiple different things? Voldemort. And that's how he got killed.
Yeah.
So, sorry, pardon, spoilers for anyone who's not seen Harry Potter.
I haven't seen Harry Potter.
Well, I'll save you 8 movies worth. Potter gets it.
It's true.
Voldemort. Sorry, I'll say it in the street terms, because I'm from the mean streets. Voldemort got.
There you go.
I don't know what I believe, Spencer. Last night, Spencer downloaded a movie that I said I haven't watched. So.
Yeah, the Recovery. It's very political, that actually.
Yeah, the wrong show, Tony.
Sorry, what? Sorry.
Yeah, we're moving on. Don't even try to drag us down there.
Nope, don't do it.
Spencer said, "Keep it clean."
Okay.
Keep it clean, Mr. Clean.
Gary, can I mention something?
Uh-oh.
So in this edition of Alonzo's Hockey Minute, the score is currently Edmonton 0, Florida 0. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, let's do that hockey, and there you go. And there you go. You got a score, and that's it.
I've even got something better to add to Hockey Corner, Gary.
All
If
right.
you wouldn't mind.
Oh, we're
So-
extending it? Mr.
Just
Tom,
for a
can we
second.
do that? Mr.
Just
Tom,
for a
talk to the devil on my shoulder. What does the devil on my shoulder say?
I want to know what
well
Spencer's
worth
got
it.
to say about hockey.
All right, there you go.
So if you listen to the Florida Panthers goalkeeper Burkowski, or whatever, if you listen to him, there we go. If you listen to his interview and then go play the opening interview from Slapshot, the goalkeeper from there, goaltender from there, they are the same voice. That's all I have.
Oh, there you go. I don't know what it is.
instantly
that.
regret authorizing this.
Yeah, that
So-
was just Spencer. You
go
just
watch
Spencer,
both interviews.
your privileges as a hockey expert on the trip have been revoked before you even got them.
It
So
wasn't even really a hockey bit. But,
hey, you said it during the hockey segment. You're off. All right.
Spencer, where are the rebel plans?
Spencer got a high stick.
All right. You know, I created a little video because I don't know, I do this every time, and I always want to go to my bookmarks and talk about stuff that's in my bookmark because I bookmark things thinking that I would want to talk about them. So I created a quick little video.
To remind
I'm
yourself.
enjoying. No, not to remind me to do it. Just because I thought it'd be cool to go.
I still don't know why Gary has this PlayStation buttons.
Yeah. So yeah. First,
Can you answer that question, Gary?
What is it, Mr. Tony?
You go from you have Jack
Why did you
Bauer,
decide to put marshmallows in your mouth and then ask me a question?
not marshmallow.
Why do you?
Your
Okay,
conscience
food.
can answer this for you, Gary.
Oh, Spencer's gonna answer it for me.
No, I can answer it for you.
Okay, the devil's gonna answer it. Go on.
Can answer
Chat.
it for you, yeah. So I'll ask the question again, Tony, please.
Why do you go from Jack Bauer to PlayStation buttons?
Because fuck you, that's why.
Done. All right, so we move on. I do what I want.
I do what I want.
When I do what I want, I get in trouble.
You're damn right you do. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how this thing plays out. This is it. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Jack Bauer is a legend. That is true. Don't mess with Jack Bauer. He's got 24 hours to do it, and guess what he does? He does it in 24 hours. The man is good at his job.
Hey, Stefan,
Tell me where the bomb is!
Stefan, turn on for the best.
Yeah. Stefan loves.
I love 24.
Yeah, it's 24. I love the 24. Yeah.
24 was great.
24 versus Homeland.
Totally different shows to me, Tony. Homeland, it takes place over like 5 years or something ridiculous like that. Takes even longer than that. 24 hours. That man saves the world, Tony. Homeland. How long did it take in Homeland? It took
I was
like
about to
months.
say Homeland's a bit implausible, and then I was about to go, but 24 is really awesome. It's like, no, 24 is the most implausible thing I think I've ever seen.
Hey,
The man
Tony.
can do a lot in 24 hours. All right.
It's like one day he's like, I'm gonna stop a nuclear sub. The next day he's go stop a pipe bomber. It's just
It's a
like,
bit odd though how the show got progressively more racist, like in terms of like the villains. Basically,
True.
it was like it got to a stage where it was like by day 6, I was like, oh fucking hell, it's not going to be another Arab terror cell, is it? And then it was like, oh look, the villains are Asian. What were the fucking odds of that? Pardon my language.
Yeah. All right. So, like I said, that was my from the bookmarks. One of the ones I did like is Douglas Luiz is on the market. Alonzo, Douglas Luiz, you taking him?
I would, only because this is a cheaper option. We were in for him 2 years ago, right? So I wouldn't mind if Arsenal went for him again. What worries me is his card record at Aston Villa. We didn't see him in the second game, I believe. But it seems like he's a player that we need. I think Arteta likes him a lot. He'd be a good replacement for Partey if he leaves. And it will rise to play number 6. Though he could play number 8. It seems like Jorginho is also going to sign an extension, which I don't mind either. But yeah, there's Luis. I think his experience, like I said, he'll be a better option, cheaper option from Gomarish. So yeah, I'd be okay with it.
Cool. Tony, Douglas Luiz,
Uh,
Doug Lewis.
I know Stan wants him really bad, but
No.
I,
Tony.
I'm going for Bruno. You know who I'm
Okay.
going for, so
All right.
we should have signed him.
Can you say why, Tony?
We should have signed him.
Spencer.
But Arsenal was cheap.
Why? Why, Tony? Why?
Because he's a good fucking player.
Why
we could
didn't
have
you?
signed him for 32 million.
Calm
Now
down,
we're
Tony.
signed him
Relax.
for
Yeah.
Tony,
90
relax.
million.
Calm down.
Yes.
Calm down.
Do it.
Tony.
No, carry on. Let it out. Do it.
No, that
Do
is
it.
not the
No,
energy
but
speaking.
nope. This is a Spencer off, so I will continue this rant.
Well, no, I didn't say continue. I just said calm down. All right.
No, Tom wanted to see where this is going.
Tom did not.
So,
Don't listen to him. He's not in your head.
Tom.
I want to see what.
No.
So anyway.
Oh boy.
After we turned Bruno down, we didn't want to spend the money. At the end of the season, you heard Arteta and Ughh saying that they didn't want to sign any players that would upset the project.
Probably will do that.
Go to this year, and it's okay to spend 65 million on Kai Havertz and put him in the goddamn midfield, which was fucking terrible. He is horrible. It was a waste of 65 million. Until Arteta finally said, "Oh, he's a striker for the national team. Let's try him there." But that's actually not why. Jesus got injured. If not, we would have had more Havertz in the midfield, and I would be angry here.
Nobody wants any of this stuff on.
Yeah, I'm not even addressing this Havertz.
Tony's the voice of reason. So Spencer, talk to me. Doug Lewis.
Doug Lewis.
Doug Lewis, but Douglas Luiz.
Doug Lewis sounds like
more than I do Bruno.
Hey, Tony.
Tony.
Yeah,
it's your turn, Tony. We already heard you ramble about Kai Havertz and all sorts of other stuff. Just give it a break for a second. I'd like Douglas Luiz a little better than I do Bruno. It depends on the price. Wasn't the price rumored, I think 2 years ago, 25 million or so? But I think Aston Villa didn't want to sell. I'm assuming that price tag's probably closer to north of 40 at this point.
Yeah, I think it's 50, and people say it's still a good deal.
I mean, I think it's. I mean, you're going to bring him in. You're going to rotate him, right? And this is where, if you could keep Partey, you got Jorginho extended, you got Declan Rice, you could do this healthy rotation of all these players in the midfield. I would like it. I mean, it's going to. I just don't know who else on the DM list that we're looking at. Lakanga is probably going to get moved on, but yeah, for the right price, Douglas Luiz would help. I think in the midfield for sure.
Yeah. Well, we know that Jorginho is probably the more solid backup. He just doesn't have the legs, but as far as football mind and all of that thing, I think he's pretty good there.
Yeah, good mentor.
I take offense to that, Gary.
My concern about Jamarish is that he gets caught away too often. He loses his head, and I believe in a project, and I think they're right that he'll disturb the project because he is reckless. And you saw what you guys saw what happened against when you played Newcastle. So I personally prefer Luis over Lamars any day of the week because he doesn't play smart.
I think
That's just
BX
me.
got the name right there that I would take over the other two, though, and that'd be Onana.
Onana is, I think, pretty good too, Spencer.
He's young, but here's the deal: that I think with Douglas Luiz and Bruno, you both said the accurate thing there. They get in card trouble. The one thing that we were really good about in 2023, 2024 is making sure this is good. Because remember the narrative, Gary. Remember this narrative. Arteta has lost control. He has red card problems. I mean, we had the one against Tomiyasu, which, if we're going to be all honest with ourselves, Michael Oliver. Right, Michael Oliver was going because Ben White took forever. We know Ben White literally just wasted time.
It was Havertz and Tomiyasu at the bone of it.
Well, I think but either way, Tomiyasu was the second guy to touch the ball, and it was like, okay. But Onana would be the one I would look at.
Here's the thing. Right now, where we are, we can make do with Douglas Luiz, with Bruno Gomes, with Onana. They just what happens behind this, what happens afterwards is where we have, a challenge. If we bring in a Gomes, more than likely we got to sell Partey, right? Because we just can't afford to. We can't keep that much value in our midfield, right? So somebody's got to go. But if you bring in Onana, I think even if you bring in a Douglas Luiz, you might be okay to keep Partey around, right? Onana, definitely, you can keep Partey around. Douglas Luiz, you might be okay to let Partey go. You might be all right because my thing is you have Douglas Luiz, Jorginho, and for me, Rice actually sits at the same level as a Jorginho. Like, if you really think about it, you probably might want to have if you had to, you would put Rice in that 6 if you had to, and then you bring in the 8 that we're going to bring in anyways, because we need to bring in an 8 anyways, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you need to really bring in an 8, because I think ideally, okay. So I'm going to rephrase. I'm going to back up. You need to bring in a player that can play 6 or 8, because ideally, I think he wants Rice in the 8.
Yeah. But like I said, we have to rotate players. We need an 8.
Right. That's why I retracted it, because I was like, you need a guy that can play not just box to box, but can play the holding role. And I think you got enough guys that can do your attacking midfielder role. You could do Odegaard in that role. You could, if you want to run a 10, you can put Havertz in there. If you keep Smith Rowe, he could do that. We don't know what's going to happen with Vieira. We really don't know what's going to happen there. But I think if you could guarantee me that Grealish or Luiz's yellow card troubles went away, I'd be okay with either one. I think that would be completely fine with me. But for me, I could see the problem with Newcastle is they say they got to sell players by the 30th of June is the rumor, right? Tonali, you probably could have got Bruno easily with Tonali not getting suspended, because Tonali can play that DM role, right? So, Luiz, I think you'd be more likely to get Luiz from Villa, though, because if you're going to get one of the players there, I think Watkins is somebody they're not going to get rid of. He's too valuable to what they do. I mean, you're going to have to pay hand to fist to get him, but if you're looking at potentially bringing Onana or Watkins, like, how much money?
If you want to win the league, you got to buy somebody like a Watkins. Sorry, Spencer.
Also, for me, if you are, as you say, Tony, looking to win the league, the better options are with Newcastle, in my eyes. So if you're gonna go down that route, Isak or Grammage for me would be better options. Like, if you're thinking, because I think Grammage playing in a system at Arsenal probably won't be put in those types of situations where he has to put in a challenge. Because guess what? We played some really good defense as a squad, right? The pressure we put up top means he's not going to be in the same situations as a Newcastle was, and where he actually beat a bully. He doesn't. We need a bully once in a while, right? When we're playing up against some, maybe in the Champions League or something like that. But in reality, when we're playing most games, we have control, right? When we have control, that means he can actually use some of his talents in that respect and to help us out. So I kind of feel like Newcastle has the better options if they were going to sell, and Douglas Luiz would be a number 2, and Watkins, of course, would be a number 2 if you're comparing them against what Newcastle has to offer if they have to sell.
Hey, Gary, can I make a counterpoint to that if you don't mind?
Yep.
So Ollie Watkins was healthy all last year, right?
Yep.
And Isak wasn't.
Yep.
So we talked about availability versus ability.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand the Bruno versus Douglas Luiz argument. I agree with you 100% about our defense, and you put them in better situations, right? It's kind of like Granit Xhaka. Things improved for him in his last year here because he wasn't put in crappy situations. He wasn't expected to be a holding midfielder. He was playing as an 8. So once you put players in certain where their responsibilities and their roles change, their ability to make rash decisions go out the way because you're removing the risks that they have to take during the game and the level of the field they have to cover.
Yeah.
So I mean, I take Ollie over Isak just because of the availability. Yeah. I think it'd be easier for you to get Isak from Newcastle than it would be for you to get Ollie Watkins from Villa at this point, in my opinion. Now.
And if Tony's wrong and Arteta does learn how to manage better, you bring in an Isak in, and guess what Isak gives you? Pretty much a goal a game when he plays. And guess what? If you're going to actually manage your players and he does get to rotate in and out the lineup, right? Then, yeah, he might play the same number of games as he played last season, but he'll be playing in Europe and he'll be playing hopefully deep in your domestic cups, right?
Yeah, but
so
he's scoring you penalty kicks. He isn't scoring goals.
Who doesn't?
None of Watkins' goals this year came from penalties.
I don't want Watkins.
All 19 came from
Tony. I don't want Watkins. I want Isak. I'm talking about Isak.
I don't care what you want, Gary. I want what best.
Yeah, but you're talking to Spencer, and I'm talking. But when I'm talking about Isak. So when you butt in, you're talking about Isak, which is not part of at least my discussion. So
just about my reservation, Gary, is the availability. I do agree. Like I said, the better players you bring in, the more rotation you can do. That's why my argument about getting rid of Zinchenko and just Jesus, I'm sticking by that because at the end of the day, you're going to move on from them initially, but you need to keep that level of player there. You don't need to move him on and try to bring in an equivalent. You need to bring the player that's a peg below and Ketty and get him out. So you have Jesus. Jesus falls in the pecking order, but you've increased the whole level of the squad. I know. I don't want to see Zinchenko at left back. I don't understand. That's not my argument here. I know people are going to say Zinchenko left back. That people have like their brains break when you bring it up. But
there's two trains of thought. Either you bring somebody to fix the bottom, or you just bring somebody who's better, and you push people down, and then they get the message. Because like right now, it doesn't seem like Nketiah and gets the message that for him, it's actually best for his career to leave.
Yeah.
He's a talented player. He's just not going to get. We're not going to give him the minutes to make it worth his time, right? And it's not worth his time to stay with Arsenal now. It's we're there. We're here. This is time to do the adult thing and try to do something better for your career long term. You got a good
just call Tom up and he'll take him to Leeds. That's all that happens.
But it's not out of the realm of possibility, Gary. We talk about Nketiah making the right decisions for his career, which, yes, moving on is the right move. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that he goes somewhere else in a different system and actually is successful. For the style of striker that Arteta wants, Eddie doesn't mark that box. But, I mean, that's okay. I mean, he's been useful to an extent. I think he was useful in that season that we were trying to finish up when we didn't have the striker when Aubameyang rolled out.
Yeah.
But, there's been a ceiling for him. And I think this season above all has really showed that, hey, outside the Sheffield United game, I mean, again, Sheffield United was a championship level team. He put 3 goals against them. He needs to move on better for his career and for his, international career too. Let's not forget that. Like, Harry Kane's at a certain age, Ollie Watkins at a certain age.
Is he actually like? Is he actually tied to England?
I see that. Okay, because I thought he was
actually played a game for them. He's been on a bench. I don't think he's actually played in a white shirt.
He has played under U21s. He holds a
No,
record
no, that's
for
under
this.
21s, but we're talking about the national team.
He
I
made
don't
an
think he's
appearance.
tied to the national team, is he?
I don't know
Yeah,
if
he
he's
is. He made an appearance, I think, earlier this year or this season in September when they had those Tony's favorite Tony Year qualifying matches. He scored. He played in a couple, I believe, or at least come with a bench in one of them. So he is tied to England because there was talk that he might go to Ghana, but he's an English born. He's
I mean,
English player.
he's that guy that can be a 6-yard box guy that hangs out in that area. That's
Off
what
in
he
the
is.
box.
And that's okay, but that's not the striker that this team wants or needs or even built around. I mean, for this team, if this team wants a guy that's going to play that role, we need a guy that's like a 6'4" Giroud or whatever, like that kind of profile of player that could come on the 10 minutes left and get you a goal. Not Eddie Nketiah, who can't do that. Eddie's a guy that probably is going to have to play 75 minutes a game, and he probably fits better at a place like Palace, Bournemouth, or one of those other teams. That's just kind of the sad reality for him. He's got to move on for the best of his career.
Yeah, like I said, if he is tied to England, that's like the worst. I mean, Southgate basically screwed up that kid's career.
He has one senior cap.
Yeah, he just screwed up his career. So for one, he's gonna get one cap and probably never play for them again unless somebody, the next manager, decides he's good. It's terrible. And Arsenal would be doing the same thing if they kept him.
Mm-hmm.
If they kept him, they would do the same thing. It's messing up his career. He's never gonna how is he supposed to grow and get better? He's not gonna play.
Yeah.
He's not gonna play. I mean, we saw Martinelli struggle. You used to say Martinelli doesn't get that chance to start up top, right?
What are you talking about, playing the 9 role?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this problem is his speed, man. Martinelli's got that speed for the wings,
But we need it up top as well. So he makes that run through the middle. We know we can, and we know we can take the ball from anywhere on the field and make things happen. Because that's how he started. That's what he did against Chelsea, right? Yeah. So he's seen it, right? So for me, I like I said, we've got lots of answers. Arteta's isn't one to use them sometimes, but with Trossard, I'm like, if Trossard for me is if you're left wing right now, consistently, you know what you're going to get from him, right? There's things that Martinelli does better, but Trossard consistently will finish, right?
Yeah, that's why I would love Trossard as a 9.
Yeah. So I think, but you can switch both of them, right? So
yeah. Well, this is the key. This is the reality here. We need to get players in. I think the big issue last year with transfers was we got players that could play multiple roles. Mm-hmm. Obviously, David Raya can play only keeper. Okay. But Timber can play fullback, can play center back, Havertz midfield, striker, Rice, all the different positions in midfield, and can play center back, right? Vieira could play. Who else did we get last year? Or is that it? I think that's it.
Well, I disagree with you. I think we need some specialists instead of keep sitting there buying these players.
So
multiple positions.
When me and Gary were just talking about, Tony, is we're talking about who's existing on the team. So developing Trossard into playing the 9 and the wing, Martinelli to play the striker and play the wing, and then you bring in a specialist. You bring in an Isak, you bring in a Watkins. Which I know, Gary, you prefer Isak, but you wouldn't be upset with Watkins in my mind.
No. Like I said,
either one's fine.
We have holes to fill, and they can be filled by multiple different players. We get different things from both of them, right? Yeah. Like for me, like if Ollie Watkins were to come in, like you said, we would have a player that basically could play the whole season, maybe for us, right? But I still feel like we would need to rotate anyways. He wouldn't have to play all the games because I think that's a bigger club can do that, right? Because Havertz can start for us, we know that. But Ollie Watkins definitely can start for us. And if you go to the end of the season and you have to, for some reason, rotate your forwards, we're not going, damn, right?
Yep.
Like this past season, we had to rotate our left backs we knew what we were going to get, and it wasn't as big of a hit each time. We did it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
We rotated a left back 3 times in a row, and then we didn't lose any of those games. You know, that's kind of where we need to be in other spots on the pitch.
And that's the encouraging thing is you're seeing that progression starting to lean that way, which tells you that if you hit the transfer market again right, you're just even a step closer. The thing, this is the one that really worries me the most is Saka. At the end of the day, like we need to bring in a winger that can push him because he's on that verge of world class. And some people agree that he already is there, but he's right there, and he just needs someone to push him. And I think the fresher he is, the better quality of a player he is. I mean, he's on that verge. I mean, we could see him definitely take even a bigger step next year. I mean, look at even if he has a good Euros. I mean, like that's something else that could push him on the national scene even further.
Could you not just keep Jesus and have him fill in for?
Well, that would be what I would do. To me, Jesus would move to the wingers. He's a left wing and a right wing. That's what you are. You're not a 9. I could put you in the midfield too. I know he can do hold up play and all that stuff, but to me, Trossard would move to that 9 position with Havertz, bring in an elite striker, and then you're stacked there. Trossard can still play on your left wing. Move on from Reece Nelson. Move on from Eddie. Bring in I don't know. You could run Vieira as a winger as a backup too, and then bring in a winger as well. So I mean, there's options there. It's just, it's like Stefan said. I can't see Villa letting Watkins go. Like,
especially in Champions League football this year, so that's going to be a big loss for them if they let him go.
Yeah,
they got that one kid there I really like, Ramsey.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but maybe that's why Newcastle, as much as it sounds like it's not possible, a stretch, might be the easier bet because they are taking not in the Champions League, right? So
yes,
so like I said, we can't go wrong with either one of the players that we would bring in from Villa and Newcastle. But if those aren't going to work, then we need to bring in others. I mean, I saw Frankie De Jong. Is that how you say it? De Jong. He's out of Euros. It looks like with another injury.
Oof.
So anybody who was looking to bring him in, I think that opportunity and option is gone.
See, that's our problem. Like, we need to stay away from players that are always have an injury record because, like, they're not. This project we've had really, really, really not as bad injuries to our starting 11, our regular starters. And if we bring someone in who has an injury record like we have now with certain players, and they become French players, and the Arsenal can't afford to have a bench that's lacking in depth. So
For sure.
But right now we have 5 or 6 players that meet that. You have Zinchenko. Only time he had more than 20 some games is his first year playing in Russia. So minus battling a cold there, probably not much of a physical league.
Yep.
Then you got Partey, you got Tomiyasu. It's all over the place.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Zinchenko though is not somebody we have to rely on much to play 30 games for us in a season now. So I think that's where we've kind of moved on, and that's where we can still utilize him for the betterment of the team if we can't sell him. But I think he does offer something. I'm looking at this. I'm like on Wikipedia. It says Nkeda's got 1 appearance for England.
mm-hmm.
That might be. Think about it. That could be his only one. He goes to Nigeria. He's playing all the damn time. With good players too. It's not like they don't have terrible players. They have terrible players there. They have some good players there.
But I get it, though. I mean, he grew up in England,
sorry.
right?
Ghana,
Grew up in England. This is, it's every young kid's dream that's an English boy to wear the England shirt. So I can understand why he took that risk. Hopefully, it doesn't bite him in the butt. But
me, it already has to some degree. The only way it's going to change is Southgate isn't managing anymore.
Or those guys age out. That becomes the other question, right? Because the names I mentioned that you would think about strikers, Tony, Watkins, and then, of course, Kane. I mean, Kane's getting close to 30, so he's got probably one more World Cup in him, right?
Yeah, but the only way he's going to get a spot is if he's playing football.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's the thing. If he gets moved somewhere and kicks on, I mean, that's going to be the funny thing. It's like if he moves somewhere and he's very successful, people are going to be like, why didn't we keep him? And it's like, well, you didn't like him when we had him, so
it's not even that we can't if we can't use him now, and the only way he's gonna get better if he plays. Of course, he's gonna be better than he was for us because he's playing. You know what I mean? Like if there was talent in there and the people saw it, like Mr. Tom saw it. Like tell me, Mr. Tom, about this Nketiah fella.
He's not bad, is he? I mean, there's just something about him. His endeavour. He knows where the goal is. What a man! What a man! And he does the phone thing too.
Yeah. See, if we have that guy on our team, we would love it. But we don't get to see that guy too often, Mr. Tom.
Is the Nketiah at Arsenal? Is he really the real Nketiah, or is it on plaster? Kind of like fake Stratus.
Do you like how Tony threw his voice? So he made it so my voice sounded like his. Because you asked me a question, and then Tony answered it. But he did it in his voice, not my voice.
Hello.
All right, so talk to me, Mr. Tom, if you want to answer the question that was posed to you by Mr. Tony.
Did Tony ask a question there?
I thought he did. I thought he asked you a question.
Did
Apparently, Madrid are interested. Which Madrid is he talking about?
What I asked it. What I asked it, Tom. Hey, you wanted to, Gary wanted to know what I asked, so.
Okay.
Ask the man the question.
Is he the real Nketiah, or is he like the fake first Stratus?
I'm now picturing the year 2000, Eminem, the real Slim Shady, but instead of that, am I the real Eddie Nketiah? Please stand up. Please stand up.
Yeah.
You need a little bit more enthusiasm for that.
Stefan's trying to look. What is wrong now? Stefan's in a.
Well, to quote the song slightly. Well, fuck him, Tony, and fuck you too.
There you go. So that's how much he cares about that. All right.
I do have to use the little boy.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's funny. This delicious can of carbonated beverage has gone right through me, and I need to use the facilities.
I thought you had to get rid of some chicken bones.
What position does Sancho play? Doesn't he play forward? So Sancho is even in the squad, and we're thinking Nketiah has a chance.
Forward.
Sancho plays wing now.
Okay, he doesn't play forward. I mean, center forward.
Wing back.
What?
Back three. What? Hey, everybody! This is Michael Jackson. Hello, Alonso.
Hi, Michael.
Have you been a good boy? Hello, Gary.
No, I hate you.
Put him in the same band, Gary, so he can just let himself out.
Ugh. I don't have time for that.
Hello, Tony.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Shut up, motherfucker.
When's the last time you had Macaulay Culkin in your bed?
Jeez.
You know what?
See,
You know what?
see,
You know what?
it's true.
You know what?
It's
You know
true.
what? Sorry. You're cut that now.
Just for that, you shall walk the plank.
Yeah, I don't want to hear from that guy for like I don't know how 113 seconds. That was not that kind of show. That was terrible, Tony. Just terrible. And luckily for you, Mr. Tom decided not to answer. And if he is going to answer, guess what? He's muted as well. So try to take the show there. Bad, Tony. Bad, bad, bad.
We should just keep nodding. No.
Oh my gosh.
I plead the fifth.
No, see, this is what you did.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on because I didn't like where that one went. I shouldn't even brought up some stuff. Oh, that's what's going on. I know Spencer got back at me at least on this one. Cheeto Obi Martin supposedly is being looked at by two German squads by some 19-year-old journalist is what Spencer has told us. I don't know where he got that background information.
It literally says it on the Twitter page. If you'd click on
I don't go into kids DMs and all that, whatever that stuff is that you just did to find out this information. So you muted yourself. I don't know what's up with that.
It said that the picture of the tweeter was like aspiring football journalist. That's where the news came from. A 19-year-old kid that tweets about football and then plays Fortnite.
So you know what? We just went. I just tried to. We just left Tony saying something a little bit. You know.
I'm just saying.
And it's true though.
borderline.
He was at the ranch all the time.
You know what, Tony?
They were
shut up.
best buddies.
You're making me
They
say rude things. Say
They
Tony.
did sleep in the same bed together. I don't care, Gary.
Anyway,
what is he? What?
Mr.
Tom, how do you do this?
Let's don't engage it. Let's don't engage it.
I unmuted him. You were talking about something else, and you brought up what he went back.
I brought up the fact that the person that actually tweeted that news was just an aspiring football journalist that claims to be 19 years old. I'm just saying the source is borderline questionable at best.
True.
That's my only point.
True. Yeah. Like I said, I hope it's not true.
Well, I agree with you.
But supposedly he hasn't accepted his contract yet, and I haven't heard any difference yet. So we'll see. But yeah. But it also sounds like because of the way that Premier League sets up their calendar for academy kids, they can leave before you have a chance to sign them. Like before they hit they can't sign a professional contract. So there's a window of time, it seems, where they could just leave you. And yes, I think you said you get compensated for it, but not like you would if they were your player and a professional player.
Yep.
So I think that's probably some bad planning on the Premier League's part, that the lifeblood of your squad can just walk out the door and you can't do anything about it. Poor planning. Poor planning. Oh, you know what? Joel Polina. Anybody interested in him? He'd be good for our midfield.
Bayern Munich won him.
Yeah.
Good player. Fulham player. I mean, he could play the 6th role.
Yeah. So like I said, I think there are options. We'll see what happens, but
he's in the older age though. He's 28. I think he'd just be better.
I thought he was 26 when I looked it up.
I think he's 28.
What are you guys talking about?
But you got to think
Palina?
Bruno's what 25.
Yeah.
Douglas Luiz maybe 26,
Oh yeah,
27.
he's 28. All right.
You know what I mean? So that what they would
28,
probably
so he's like another Partey-ish player
Yeah.
that we bring in. Will we get more than 2 years out of him, if that?
The only difference is he would hit the ground running, if that makes sense. If you bought a Nana, there's going to be that potential. Where do you fit? And where you
Ooh,
make
nah.
and you probably don't have where this squad's at now. You don't really have points to throw away, right?
No,
So-
we realize you can't drop points in the first half of the season. You can't drop points in the second half of the season.
Can't drop them at Christmas either.
No, well,
You can't
that's
drop points at any point because unless you get 38 wins, Man City are going to win the title.
exactly.
Even if
We
you get
found that
38, they're going to get 39 wins somehow.
Yep.
they do know how to work the system, right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think if you like Arteta's shown us both his hands, starting fast, finishing fast. Now he just needs to play fast from day one. We are sitting here. It's over 90 minutes. I think it's time we say our goodbyes. So we're going to get into goodbye formation. And first up, Lonzo. Lonzo from unknown location.
Yeah, so just my house, my friend's house. I'm house sitting for till I think Sunday or Saturday. They got 2 pets. They got three pets, 2 pets and a dog, boxer. Anyways, yeah, good to see you guys. Good to see you, Spencer and Tom and Tony and Gary for hosting. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, looking forward to how the Euros play out. See if we get Cisco before or after that, and see if anyone joins the Arsenal. It's always an exciting time being linked to players, and they're going to see how they work at this current Arsenal squad. Looking forward to seeing how England do and all that. So yeah, enjoy the summer, guys. Enjoy the week ahead, and look to see you guys soon. Looking forward to it.
Cool. Spencer from the floor.
Oh, happy Monday. School's about to end here, so everybody's will be out for summer. But yeah, enjoy your week. The Euros start Friday, so Germany and Scotland, and I got really nothing else. Everybody stay safe.
Cool. Tony, say goodbye, Tony. No, say goodbye, Tony.
Nope. Look, it's time to get some players in before preseason.
What happens if we lose that game, Tony?
We still need the players in, Gary.
What happens if we lose that game?
Nothing.
We need players in.
The sun will rise is the correct answer.
Nothing will happen. We already lost to them in one of these things. It meant absolutely nothing.
I'm just saying we need the players in.
Definitely
before.
need the players. We'll see what happens. Anything else before you say bye-bye?
Nope.
All right. Next up, last but not least, Mr. Tom. People want to hear from you before we get out of here.
Oh, yeah, hello. Thank you for spending time with me over the course of the weekend. It's been a long weekend. I am going to bed as soon as this show finishes, and because quite frankly, I need to sleep. So again, thank you for your time over across the weekend, Gary, Alonso, Spencer, Sir Tony, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's been emotional.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As we said, we'll do this again. We'll try to do this every Monday throughout the rest of the season. We'll see. Hopefully, we have some. I guess we might have football to talk. We will have football to talk about, right? There'll be Euros by the time we we're back, I think, right?
That'd be generous.
Okay, there'll be some sort of football that would have been played by the time we get back here. So yeah, we will chat about that. Yeah, the Euros starts. Hungary and Switzerland play on the weekend. Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania. So there you go. So we will have some football to talk about by the time we get back here in Slovenia, Denmark, Serbia, England play on a Sunday.
Mhm.
Poland and Netherlands. So we will have a lot to chat about, and then I think it kicks off on the Friday, Germany and Scotland. So there you go. So check us out. We'll be talking about all that. Thanks for joining us. We'll do this again. I don't know what that was. Mr. Tom is playing with the.
I thought we should just focus a very small part of the show on the hosts of the upcoming World Cup. It's been a good weekend for them.
The host of the World Cup.
Yeah, three of them.
Oh, yeah, because they all got. You know what's disappointing? What's going to be scary when USA plays Brazil? If they can't if they drop 5 to Colombia, what's going to happen when they play Brazil? Martinelli, Enric, Vinicius Jr. I mean,
did Brendan Aronson play?
I don't think is he actually playing football right now? I don't know if he's even playing football right now. But
he'll be playing in the championship, apparently.
Yeah, but like I said, I think it's scary that USA is going to play Brazil next. So they don't do so well against the teams from South America and stuff like that. So it's not gonna be good. But we will be back, everybody. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Say bye-bye, and we will head out. And we'll check you on the next one. Thank you. Hit the like, subscribe, and all of that.
Life is a journey. Don't waste your trip. Go to life. There you go.